Hello and welcome. Thanks for tuning into the Disembodied Screams podcast. Those returning, thank you. Those new to this podcast, welcome. Now let's get started. And if you're watching on YouTube, welcome as well, because this will go to YouTube. We decided to drop on the podcast and on YouTube, so you get to see it on Spotify or on YouTube. All right, let's get into Majestica's A Christmas Carol and celebrate the holiday season with some metal. All right, let's start with the cover in this new format. And this Majestica cover, I really like the way it looks. I mean, I gave this cover a solid 6, not only just for the cover, for the back cover as well. This cover, I mean, you got like Scrooge, looks kind of, I don't know, he doesn't look just miserly in this one. He looks almost zombified a little bit in this one. Then you got this thing in the sky above that's kind of reaching down over Scrooge with this very demonic looking face. And then you've got like these trees on the side. Look like they almost got arms on them and hands, and they're all gnarled and everything. And there's lots of good purples and whites and blacks in there. And yeah, it's a very horrific looking cover, and it really pops and really stands out. And then the back cover might be even creepier than the front cover. You got like death with the finger pointing down. You got like a graveyard and more of those little gnarled branches, and there's like a knocked over tombstone, and there's some blacks and some purples and some whites. And so that looks cool too. I just stumbled on the back cover when I was on Amazon trying to find some information from Majestica for this album. There's not a lot out there. So I was glad Amazon had a little something. So the cover is a 6. The title of the album is the other thing I like to get into and see if there's any horror in the title. And A Christmas Carol, not very horrific. Not very horrific at all. So that's a solid 1. So cover is a 6. Title is a 1. And album information comes from Amazon this week. There was nothing on Wikipedia, nothing on Apple. So it says this, and I think if you go to Majestica's website, there's some more good information too if you want to pop over there and check it out. But Amazon said, in 2019, the new Swedish power metal heroes, Swedish and power metal, love that. And these boys don't sound Swedish. I mean, they sing in English and they sound really good in English. And I love power metal. And power metal is another genre that I want to celebrate on this podcast. Like I said, I want to go into all aspects of metal, not just the death metal and the heavy metal. I love power metal. Power metal is one of my favorite genres too. Love a good power metal song. And Majestica is one of those bands in that genre, and a band I will listen to further beyond this album because I do like their sound of this one. I gave it a listen yesterday and really liked it. I was expecting more of a gimmick. I was expecting something that didn't just a gimmick. That's all I was really expecting. And it wasn't gimmicky. It was like almost like listening to a Christmas Carol play set to heavy metal music, and I really liked it. I would like to actually see this on a stage somewhere. It'd be really cool. So, okay, back to the description. It says Above the Sky was their Majestica's debut album, with which they made a significant start within the metal community. In 2020, they'll be back with a very special album. I guess you can tell when this was written. With a very special album, A Christmas Carol, a Christmas album. It's pure symphonic power metal in the true Majestica sense, with elements of Twilight Force, Rhapsody, Alan Silvestri, Danny Elfman, and John Williams. And you in the movie industry and who like movies know who Danny Elfman and John Williams are. Big names for sure. It goes on to say, it's not only because there are some famous Christmas songs in the 9 epic, I chose the bonus one that had 10, and symphonic power metal tracks, but also because the theme is the famous story of Scrooge from the Charles Dickens Christmas novel. With the many different voices to the different characters in the story, a power metal musical was created that gives you the right Christmas feeling and that has never been seen before by a power metal band. And I gotta say, I'm not sure I've seen something like this before, and I really like it. So, maybe more of these artists could do some Christmas stuff. I've always wanted Iron Maiden to do some Christmas stuff. I think an Iron Maiden Christmas would be just phenomenal to see. Maybe put it on a soundstage. I could see Dickinson pulling something like that off. He seems like the kind of creative soul that would really get into making a power metal stage play with heavy metal music. All right, personnel, in case you didn't know this, Majestica is Tommy Johansson, I would assume, since he's Swedish. Guitars, vocals, Peter. I'm not going to pronounce your last name. It's H-J-E-R-P-E. How you pronounce that? Yerp, maybe, something like that. Guitars, Chris David bass, Joe Kolberg on drums, and all the names will be on the screen if you're on trying to figure my spot on Spotify. So read through them yourself if you want. If you're on YouTube, you can see it too. And if you know how to pronounce these names, please let me know in the comments below, and let me know if I actually got even close. You can comment on Spotify or YouTube. All right, yeah, the website to them, if you want to check them out a little further, majesticametal.com. That's where I pulled that information from. All right, track listing. It goes like this, and I pulled the extended edition, like I said before. A Christmas Carol, A Christmas Story, Glory of Christmas, Ghost of Marley, Jacob Marley, Ghost of Christmas Past, The Joy of Christmas, Ghost of Christmas Present, This Christmas. Each time I hear This Christmas, I think of that song, This Christmas. Doesn't need to be in my head. Get out of my head. Leave me alone. Ghost of Christmas to Come is number 9, and A Christmas Has Come as number 10. And I looked up singles and tried to really did some deep dive on trying to find singles for this one. And Glory of Christmas is the one that kept coming up. And so maybe it was that one. I don't know, but I know nothing other than that. So anyways, if you know the singles for that too, comment and let me know what the singles are. But I saw Glory of Christmas a lot pop up when I was frantically typing and searching for singles for this album. And I've already covered the cover and the title and gave them a rating. I'm going to go ahead and give the songs a rating too at this point in time, and that's a 3. Overall nature of this story lends itself to spookiness. That's what I wrote in my notes. And I think this is sort of one of those mulligans like with Abigail, where maybe the songs aren't as horrific sounding, but the context of within the songs are very spooky and very horrific sounding. So I'm going to go give those songs a 3, because there is some spookiness to be found in A Christmas Carol. Probably one of the reasons why I like it a lot, because I feel like it's still got that spooky vibe to it, which I really do enjoy. Just because it's Christmas doesn't mean we can't have a little bit of spooky, right? All right, so adding all the cover, title, songs together, get a 3.4, which is leaning more towards Freddy's Nightmares by a notch than Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. So a little surprised to find that this album actually came out to be sort of in the mid-tier range. But maybe it shouldn't be surprising. It is A Christmas Carol, and A Christmas Carol is pretty spooky by its nature. So, all right, that's it. Just wanted to do something Christmassy on the podcast this year, since the podcast is running through Christmas. Ugly shirt is back on. If you saw the Terrifier 3 episode I just dropped, same ugly shirt. So it's a good Christmas vibe for me. So you might see it throughout videos years to come, as long as this exists, and as long as the podcast and the channel exists too. So, all right, let me drop anchor here, close out the episode. If you like what you hear, don't forget to rate. Don't forget to tap the follow button if you're on the podcast. Subscribe if you're on YouTube. And if you do enjoy, just find a way to rate and review this thing, and just feed the like button on YouTube, and just tell me to keep this thing growing and showing and reaching more people. All right, take care. Have a good one. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.